All right, in this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly how you can automate your entire client onboarding process so that you can go ahead and start streamlining everything, reduce time, don't have to hire certain team members to do things, and everything you just put on autopilot so that you can focus on growth and actually bring on more clients into your business. So this process will be taken care of. Without further ado, let's jump straight in. So obviously this entire onboarding process is going to be based around the lack of human input, right? There'll still be like 2 things maybe that's in here that'll actually need your input, but you get the point, right? So firstly, we're going to actually go ahead and start off here with the actual sales call, right? And obviously you're not going to be able to automate this because it's a sales call, right? So that's the thing. It starts off there. It starts off with the sales call, and then what happens after the sales call? So after the sales call, you say, hey, yeah, the client verbally agrees and says, yeah, no, cool, let's go ahead with this. I'm cool with the price. I'm cool with everything. Let's get started. Then you're like, all right, perfect. Now you go ahead and send them that first initial email, right? To just say, hey, look, here's the kind of kickoff email and everything like that, just to kind of get you go ahead and get you started, right? So now, obviously in this email, you want to have a couple of things, right? You want to be able to have the contract link. Obviously that's going to need to be reviewed and signed digitally and everything like that, whether it's through PandaDoc, DocuSign, or you use Go High Level contracts and everything like that with the payments as well. That would be ideal. You go ahead and use that, right? Then you need the payments instructions, so a Stripe link or invoice details, whatever it may be, or you've got your Go High Level thing that's linked there. Then you have the onboarding form, whether it's, like I said, Google Forms or the Go High Level form that's going to be there. Obviously, so you can start collecting their actual information about their business, right? It's their company name and everything like that, their struggles, what they're looking to get out of this entire thing, which processes they need optimized, or what kind of ads they're looking for, or what their target audience is, whatever it is. Everything in the onboarding that every single piece of information that you need from them, that will be in this first thing here, right? And then obviously general next steps. Now, what I like to do is I like to send them this actual thing, this first email, say, hey, welcome, we're gonna kick you off, or well, not kick you off like that, but we're gonna start you off, get everything ready, just go ahead and click this link and get started. Then what I do is actually have a funnel set up on GHL to actually have these different steps in place. So it'll be okay, first thing that pops up is hey, a welcome video. Hey, welcome to ABC company, and we're glad to have you here. Just go ahead and start filling out these things. You'll go ahead and see the contract, you'll see the payment, and then you'll complete an onboarding form. And then once that's completed, everything else will be set up alongside in the back end and everything like that. Cool. You understand how the video must go. Perfect. Then you go ahead and set up all your funnel steps. You have, like I said, the first page, which is going to be the welcome, then it's going to be the contract sign, then it's going to be the payments and everything like that, then it's going to be the onboarding form, and then afterwards they say, cool, I'm done, awesome, perfect. Now, literally, the client doesn't have to give you any more information. Everything is done from there. It's sorted out, right? So then that's when the automations actually start to go ahead and set off, right? So we've got here the actual when they actually submit the form. Now that's going to be the actual trigger of the entire automation process, right? To set up everything, their Slack channel, their Google Drive folders, their whatever, everything that you need on onboarding, it's going to be sorted out. So once their form has been submitted, then I kind of branch things over into 2 phases, right? The client facing and internal stuff, right? So obviously the client facing stuff will be all the things that the client needs, all the automations that are going to be associated with creating the client's stuff, or at least keeping them in the loop of, here's your information, here's this, here's that, that type of stuff. And then there's the back-end / internal stuff, which will then be all the actual automations that go into things of hey, let's create Google Drive folders, hey, let's create a Slack channel, hey, let's do this and that, maybe create a record on Airtable, whatever it may be, right? Cool. So we've got the first stage here, which is obviously going to be the client facing and then the back end. So in the client facing, you'll send over the actual welcome email, right? Now, this is going to include the actual onboarding process, where it's okay, hey, here's the welcome thing where it shows the process of how you actually go about, the expectations. Instead of having a call and then setting expectations on the call, you just go ahead and make a video and say, hey, look, and you show the kind of client journey that they're about to go on. You show them that, and then you show them the instructions for the next steps. Like, okay, cool. So now that this is done, we're going to go ahead and actually book your kickoff call and everything like that. And then after that, you'll be able to actually get all the different communication channels, the client portals, whatever it may be. If you have a thing on GHL or anything like that, then you get that thing set up, right? Then on the back end, you've got things that are being created. The client's Google Drive folders, creating a record in Airtable, and then creating client Slack channels. These things are going to be able to actually show you that, hey, okay, cool. Now all the client drives folders are sorted out. Everything that you need that needs to be put in there, whether it's like the contract, it's the any notes or anything like their onboarding information, any assets that they've given you, like logos, whatever it may be, brand images, social media posts, whatever it may be, whatever you do, right? All that stuff is going to be now there, created and then put into there, right? Perfect. Then you can actually create a record in Airtable, right? And obviously Airtable is going to be like the place for all the data to actually be seen, right? That's going to be kind of like our one source of truth, where we can see every stage of where the client is, what they are, all their metrics and everything like that. So you're going to first create the actual record so that can be there, right? And then obviously the next one is to actually create the Slack channels so that, you know, you guys can communicate, whether it's you create 2 Slack channels. Personally, if I'm being honest, maybe 3 in some cases, where it's like, okay, the executives channel, then it's your team, your internal team's channel, to be like, okay, hey guys, we're talking about this client here. And then obviously like the general channel, where it's all the team members from their company and your company, and then obviously the executives of their company and yours as well. They're going to be in that chat or that channel so that everyone can see the communication happening there, right? Obviously you'll distinguish between when it's like executive channel, like obviously you'll just put like yourself or like the customer success manager inside there, and then their executives or team that are in those levels to really make the decisions like that, right? So you'll get those things set up, right? Then afterwards, we then have the kickoff call that has been booked, right? Because let's say in that funnel where you've actually had the expectations video and everything like that, at the end of the funnel, they're going to actually have to book a time where they can actually have this onboarding call, right? Now, it's going to be nice to actually have these things all automated, because now by the time you get to the kickoff call, you've already had a chance to go through all of their like documentation inside the onboarding form. They've booked a meeting, they know what's going on. So literally you get on the call and you say, okay, look, we understand this and this about your business. This is the plan, this is the that, this is, so that you don't waste time on the call saying, oh, okay, so what do you guys actually need done? And then you guys spend hours on the call when things could have just been sorted out long before, right? Cool. So then once the onboarding call has been kicked off, you can see this one is also a trigger, right? Now this one will be triggered by obviously them booking a meeting, and then you'll send obviously the confirmation email, and then you can go ahead and log those details inside Airtable, inside their client record, to say, okay, cool, the client's onboarding meeting has been booked for this time, blah, 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 blah. Cool. Then here comes the next manual process, which is going to be the kickoff call, right? You're going to have the kickoff call. Perfect. Now, obviously, this is not something that you can automate or when the meeting finishes, then move to the next step. No, what you want to do is actually have this thing set up in a way that, let's say it's in Go High level, you move this specific contact or opportunity, if you would say, into the different pipeline to say kickoff call complete or something like that. So at least there's a trigger, there's an understanding. The system can understand that, okay, once this happens, then the rest of the automations can follow after that. Cool. So then here you'll have your after the kickoff call, once you move them into the different pipeline stage, then you'll send them the setup email. Now this is going to give them access to all the client dashboards, the Airtable, the Slack channels, everything like that, all the SOPs and training guides and everything like that, support details, people who's, their main points of contact and stuff like that. So obviously now you've set up everything, like the actual portal where you actually have the SOPs and training guides and whatever it may be. That will all be there, and they'll go again and get access to that, right? Then in the back end, for the team, you just notify the team in Slack. Say, hey, client name has just completed their onboarding call. the next steps are in Airtable, and then you actually have like whatever steps you need to do in order to actually now progress in your service, right? Now, obviously, this is just like a generic kind of onboarding flow. So, because obviously every business is different, but the likelihood of things being the same for any like online business owner or agency, consultant, whatever it may be, your process is going to look something similar to this. Then obviously after this, it's just you go ahead and deliver the results. Now you can actually extend this actual automation to actually then put in things like, okay, cool, weekly progress reports, like weekly analytics and stuff like that. You can include those things into this process so that those things are also automated as well, so that you don't have to sit every week and be like, okay, now I must go and look at all the information that they've gathered, that we've gathered for them, all the results and stuff, and then create a spreadsheet and then do this and that. You can literally automate that entire process as well, and actually pull records from Airtable, tell it to create a specific way of showing the actual data and everything like that, and then those results are just triggered on a weekly basis on Friday at 5 p.m. or on Friday at 11 or 12 a.m. Those things, they just go off every single week. And then as well as the actual client check-in calls to say, okay, cool, check-in calls, they can actually even book that stuff even earlier, like in the kickoff call. They can tell you, hey, look, I want to have the client follow-up calls, whatever it may be, every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Cool. That stuff will also be automated as well. You can take those same records once they've actually booked in that thing as a recurring meeting for the duration of like however long you have like your service to be, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, whatever it may be, or monthly, which is, I don't know why you do that, but yeah, you'd have that kind of set up, and then you can create the automations from there. So obviously this, you can just look at this and see that, hey, okay, cool, here's an understanding of what I need to do to actually simplify my onboarding process so that it's not so manual. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it for this video. If you like this video, go ahead and click the subscribe button. More automation and workflow and actual, business information that's going to be coming through your way. And yeah, see you in the next video.